Hi, this is Joe Greco, Corporate Design Director for Cutouts Media. Welcome to another installment of Cutouts Media's online training series. Today we're going to continue our Photoshop cutout discussion with part 2, Getting Started. In today's lesson we're going to be talking about the tools you'll need to make cutouts as well as what palettes you should have active to make the cutout process easy and efficient. Okay, let's begin. We're going to first cut out this wine bottle, first because of its simplicity. Secondly, it shouldn't take too long to cut out, which will make this video as short as possible. The tools that we're going to use primarily will be the pen tool. I choose the pen tool for cutouts because it produces the best results and gives a nice, clean, crisp image in the final image. You may have heard of other methods to make cutouts by using the magic wand tool or the lasso tool, but really the pen tool is what you want to use to make the best results. Over here you'll see the palettes that you should activate: the layers palette, the paths palette, as well as the history palette. You can find those in the Windows menu, and I prefer to have those in one easy palette here for quick reference between the three palettes. Okay, let's begin with the pen tool. First, I'm going to enlarge the magnification to a size that will allow me to see a lot of the detail. This is important, maybe not so important on an image like this because there's not a whole lot of detail, but if there are lots of detail, you're going to want to increase the magnification high enough to where you can see that detail. Okay, with the pen tool selected, I'm going to start in the bottom right corner. You can start anywhere else on the image you'd like. I prefer to start down here and go counterclockwise, but again, you can go clockwise and start from any point. Make the first point, just click the mouse, and to create the second point, click and hold the mouse, because this is where you can see the Bezier curve in action. And really, this is the most difficult thing to learn about using the pen tool making cutouts, is how that curve responds to the movement of the mouse. How you move the mouse affects the curve. And the more you practice this, and I really encourage you to practice this a lot, because if you don't know how to get that curve to move the way you want it to, the only way you will do that is by practice. Okay, once you find the curve you're looking for, just release the mouse. You'll notice that there are two what I call handlebars on either side of that second point. You're going to want to hold on the Option key and click the point to remove that leading handlebar. This may not be so important to do on an image as easy as this wine bottle, but as you advance to more difficult images, you'll find that removing the handlebar will allow you to create additional points more quickly without error. Okay. Now that I've got a straight line, I'm going to move up the image to make this cutout process go a little more quickly, because I didn't have to make a curve. Here I approach the second curve. I don't want to go too far because making too big of a curve is rather difficult. And don't bite off more than you can chew. Go with simple short arcs because you can make that curve more quickly, and will save you some time. Here's another straight edge. I'm going to go straight up without making a curve. Again, just simple single mouse clicks will get you those straight edges you're looking for where no curve is needed. Okay, I'm reaching the halfway point. That's taken us, what, every bit of 2 minutes? You can see that the more quickly you get at making cutouts, the more easy it will be for you to do cutouts on deadline. Try to avoid making cutouts on deadline, of course, but if you have to, this is the best way to do it. Okay, here you'll notice that if I were to follow the shape of the image, I will achieve the arc or curve that I'm looking for more quickly. If I move to the left, you can see it affects the curve in that direction. If I move to the right, it goes too far that way. But if I stay in line with the outline of the image, you can see that my curve is fairly accurate, which requires very simple fine-tuning. And I usually try to start, like if I have one curve going one direction, followed immediately by a curve in the other direction, I want to make the next point before the next curve starts. It will make the next point and curve easier to achieve. Again, don't bite off more than you can chew. Make short, simple curves, and you'll be much happier with the outcome in the process. Here's another long straight edge, so I'll go to the bottom of the bottle here. As you can see, this wine bottle image is rather dark down here, which kind of blends in with the shadow that you see at the bottom. You may need to take some creative license as you're making your curve to kind of create that edge you're looking for. And as you approach your starting point, you'll see that next to the pen tool icon, a little circle will appear as you approach the starting point, which in effect is your ending point as well. And that little circle is indicating that you will complete your circuit once you press your mouse. Once you complete your circuit or path, you'll see in the Paths palette that you have the image of your wine bottle in the little thumbnail there. At this point, you want to select the slide out menu, scroll down to Make Selection, and Release. Here, the Make Selection dialog box comes up. I'm using Photoshop CS2. This may appear differently if you have another version, but you want to make your feather radius as small as possible. In earlier versions, you may not be able to choose 0 pixels, but that's what you want. If you can't choose 0 pixels, choose the smallest you can. It may be 0.5, it may be 1 pixel, but choose the smallest pixel number. That turns your path into a selection, and that's exactly what you want. I'm going to zoom out so we can see the entire image here. And as you can see, we're actually selecting the bottle. And at this point, we need to select everything else, the background in other words. So to do that, we want to inverse the selection by going to Select, Inverse. Notice the quick keys there. Use quick keys whenever possible to make it even quicker. Once you select the inverse and select the background in the process, hit Delete. But if you look over here, make sure that your background color is white or 0 percentages in all your colors. That way when you hit delete, when you hit delete, you will be deleting the image and showing a white background. At this point, you want to inverse the selection again for the purpose of making creating a path. And we'll talk about creating a path in part 3. So at this point, we've inversed the selection. We want to deselect by hitting Apple D. And now it's just a matter of saving the image to where you normally store your images in your production process. And that is really it. It really just takes a couple minutes to make a cutout. Again, you're going to want to practice making cutouts, especially if you're not used to working with the pen tool. Those Bezier curves can be a little problematic, but once you learn them, you'll find it's very, very simple and easy to use. And that's really it. So this concludes part 2 of making Photoshop cutouts. I'm Joe Greco, Corporate Design Director. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me at jgreco@gatehousemedia.com.